It's Lee from coloringqueen.net, and I want to show you a new feature I've added to my website to solve a particular problem that I have been experiencing in the colouring community, and that is that there is so much great stuff going on. There are live streams, there are colour-alongs, there are giveaways, there are book launches, and there is just so much that I can't keep up. And not only that, I like to join live streams and I like to engage with other people. As most people know, I'm here by myself most of the time, so it's great to have a conversation with other people in real life. But the problem for me is that I'm in Australia, and usually when there's a live stream on, I either don't know because I'm asleep or having breakfast or whatever, because most live streams I don't know when they're on. And if they're a YouTube streamer, I'm not subscribed to every single YouTube channel out there. I'm subscribed to a few, but there's probably quite a lot that I'm missing. And I'm missing also all the Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives as well from people that go live on those particular platforms, or even Twitch or other platforms like that. So I thought what I would do was create a page where people could add their own event. So it could either be your live stream, a colour along, a book launch, a giveaway, something that you hold and that you want to let people know about. So you just click that add an event link there. Give it a title. So I might have a Benny Blue colouring night. And you can fill in here a little bit of text about it if you want to. And you can use, just like in Word, if you're familiar with Word, you can bold things just by pressing the bold button or italicize them. You can justify them or centre it or whatever you might fancy. You don't need to add this at all, but it's often helpful if you want to let people know what you're doing and whatnot. Over here, you don't need to fill this in at all. It'll automatically be completed for you. Here you might want to add the link where people will go to join your event. So I'm going to put in my YouTube channel link there, but you might want to put in obviously your YouTube channel if that's where it's going to be, but it might be on your Facebook page or your Instagram page, so you just need that channel link there. So then we just come down here and we can fill in the start date. So this is in your time, so I'm going to say it's going to start at 8, maybe we'll make it 10:20 a.m. And you don't need to fill in the end date, but if you do want to, you can. It's not necessary, but you can if you want to, just like with the time. I forgot to put in the day, aren't I? Funny. So the start date was the 22nd in Australia at the moment, and the end date would be the 22nd. If you go for definitely an hour or something like that, you might want to fill in the time, but you don't need to. If you don't want to, you can just check that box and say hide event end time. Because sometimes streamers go for an hour, sometimes they might go for an hour and a half or 2 hours, who knows. You might have this event every Tuesday throughout the year, and if that's the case and you have it at the same time every year, you can just press this event repeating box and not have to come back and add your event ever again and have it repeat. So either if you're running it every day, if you're running it certain weekdays, so for example, if you do this every single day at the same time, you'd press daily. If you do it every Tuesday, for example, then it would be weekly. If you do it usually every Tuesday, but sometimes, you don't, then you can just either go with custom days and put in the starting time when that would start. You might start doing it every Tuesday in October for all of November, and then in December you might change your schedule because of holidays and whatnot. So you can just use this calendar picker just to choose your start and end dates, but just remember to come back and customise it when you've changed your plans back or you've changed to something else. Or if you have a little bit more complicated of a schedule, you can press down on that advance button, and you might have it on the first Tuesday of each month, the third Tuesday, and maybe the last Tuesday. And you just click on those. There are a ton of options here that you can go through and work out which ones work for you. Now, the next thing that you might want to do is pop along here on the right hand side. We've already talked about these things, but you might want to pop in an image. So it could be a picture of you, your channel, the book that you're working on, whatever you might fancy. So there's my image, and once that's loaded up, you'll see the file name on it there. Then you might want to choose a category, because some people, and that image is loading up and I think you know what it is. It's Millie with her Benny Blue card that was nicely sent by a subscriber. So there's Millie and Benny. And then you might want to add a category. So, for example, I might be looking just to watch a colour along, or a live stream, or a tutorial, or even a workshop that's face-to-face. I might be wanting to find something in Australia that I can attend in person. So just choose whatever category this belongs to. And if you don't think I've got the categories right, or if you think that there's a need for different categories, feel free to email me. My email is listed below. We have tested this out for months now, and it doesn't have all of the features that I would like, to be honest, and that's why I held off a little bit from releasing it. I was hoping that the gadget could be improved a little bit, but you know, that wasn't to be. But it does have 99% of the features that I want, and we have tested it out. Some lovely members of my colouring group, as well as other people online, have been helping me to test this over the last few months to make sure it works correctly. But you never know, once real life happens, it might not work properly, like all gadgets in life. So, you know, bear with me if there's any technical glitches or anything like that. And if there's any suggestions or feedback that you have, I'm always happy to hear them and see what you might think. Now, these labels, cancelled, delayed, on time, postponed, etc., or short delay, they're useful if, for example, you email me and you say the event that I've posted, it's actually been cancelled today. And provided I get enough notice, I can just go in and add that cancelled label. But otherwise, we would assume that most of your events are actually going to run on time. And you can add a colour to signify what sort of event it is, if you wish. And here is where you would add your name. So I'm just going to put in Lee. You might have I'm already in, so I'll just tick that box and you'll see a drop-down menu that will show names. If you have, say, 2 people on the stream or at a workshop, etc., you can add their name as well. So maybe Chris is going to be in. So it would be Lee and Chris, and we just check those boxes. Now, if your event falls on a public holiday or a day that you know that you won't be streaming, you can just come in here and exclude that. So I said my event was going to run every Tuesday, and there's a little orange circle around this to indicate today. But if I go over to December, I might want to say, look, on the 12th of November, I'm just not going to stream that day. I'll be here every other Tuesday except for that one. Now, most of us are online, but if you're actually conducting a workshop in person, you You might give out colouring tutorials at the local coffee shop. You might have a meetup group that meets locally. You can add in the coordinates for that location. So you might say it's at Starbucks, and I really have no idea where Starbucks is, so let's say New York, and you can put in the latitude and the longitude for that. Now, most of us run online events, so just hide location if it's only online. But if you do have a workshop, then you can always add in that physical location so people can actually find it. Now, you can insert a new organiser, so that's you, whoever is hosting it. But if you have like a website or an Etsy store or something like that you want to link to, you can do that, and you can select a picture and upload a picture of yourself, whatever you fancy. So that's basically all of our details. So once this has been filled in, you just click the submit button and you'll get the little blue wheel rolling around. And what will happen is that I will get an email advising that there has been an event submitted. So it says that the event was published, and that's because I'm in admin control. But we'll go over here and we'll have a look at what the events look like when they're published. And so now we can see on this events page we've got a countdown clock that's displaying in my time zone, and it's telling me how long to go until this event. Now the countdown will show for the next upcoming event, so if your event was posted and it's 2 days away, yours would show up before mine so that you can go and see it. And it tells you there that's the Benny Blue colouring night and how long we've got to go. Now if we come up here on the side, we can see that feature pic that I put in of Millie and Benny Blue will be displayed there. So if you have a little picture, it's going to show up there on the side. And we can go through the calendar on a monthly basis and see what events are on. If there's any event on, so when you guys add your events, there'll be a little dot below the calendar name. So if we go into November, we can only see those test ones that I put in. You can look at that on a weekly basis as well if you want. And so by just clicking on that tab there for weekly, we can see that it's only the 22nd of October that there is a current event for Millie and Benny Blue. Or you can even look at it on a daily basis and see that today the only event is Benny Blue. You can also look at it in a list if you prefer as well. So when we have more events, obviously that list would be more exciting, and see how the list is showing the dates, so 26th of November, 3rd of December, 17th, etc. So if yours was just a colour along night and you change books every week, don't call it Benny Blue and press repeat, because otherwise it's going to show up as the same thing every night. You can also search through, so I've only added one category called colour along, but if there was other people that have added events like tutorials or whatever, and you just felt in the mood to watch a tutorial, you could come to the drop down menu here and just search for the tutorial events that were on. Or if your favourite host was me, obviously, then you could just search for events hosted by me, or you could even go down here and search by date or time, whatever you fancy. So I think that's pretty well all I need to say about the event logging. I'd love to get your feedback on any suggestions that you might have for it. What happens when you lodge an event? You'll get a message that says that your event is pending, and I will get an email message that says that you have lodged your event, and I will check out your event, make sure you're not a spammer and that it's an appropriate event, i.e. there's no swearing or anything improper, and it relates to colouring. It's a live stream, a book launch, a colour along, or a colouring chat or something like that. And then once I've checked that out, I will approve your event. Now, this will automatically be displayed on the page here, so people visiting the site can just go to events and see what events are coming up and on. But it will also be posted out to social media, to my Facebook page, my Twitter account, twice a week, maybe more, depending on time zones, etc. And I'll also do a weekly roundup running through this page and letting people know what's happening in the colouring community every Sunday night, which is Australian time, so for a lot of you that would be Saturday. But every Sunday night, late Sunday night, I'll pop on and do a quick little roundup of what's happening and what's coming up in the colouring community based on the submissions that have been received here. And I hope you enjoy using it, and I hope it makes it easier for other people like me that really need to know when things are on and what's happening, so that we can organise our lives and be there to support one another in the colouring community. So until next time, happy colouring.